Good evening, everybody. I am so excited to have you here with me this evening. Welcome to Leadership Live with Dr. Renita. That's me. And friends, you'll meet my friend in just a minute. But tonight, I am so excited about tonight. For those of you all who are new to Leadership Live, welcome. Leadership Live is simply the sharing of journeys. It's the sharing of journeys. And back in 2019, I did it for 52 weeks by myself. Went on a little hiatus in year 2020. And then in 2021, God tapped me on the shoulder and said, I want you to bring Leadership Live back, but there's some friends of yours. You don't have to do it by yourself anymore. And that's an incredible lesson that we all need to learn. There are some things that we can do by ourselves. And sometimes we have to prove that point that we can do it by ourselves, but it doesn't mean that we have to continue on that road doing it alone. Sometimes we need our village to be with us. So in 2021, I brought on 54 guests in 49 weeks. And then in 2022, 20 weeks of Leadership Live went up. And here we are in 2023 for another season of Leadership Live. So that brings you to our fourth season of Leadership Live. And I am so blessed to still be on this journey with such incredible people walking it with me. And so for those of you all who don't know me, because you're really here to see my friend, because my friend told you she was going to be all night. Right, you come see her and you're like, lady, that's cute, but who are you? I am Dr. Renita. I am an educational leadership strategist, and that simply means I love to work with growing and aspiring leaders to become more authentic in their leadership, empower their fellowship, and at the end of the day, have a greater impact on the world. I'm a veteran educator, having been a teacher all the way through principal and college professor and program director. I've done all the things in education, and I still love education. I know that it is the thing that can take people to new levels when they're educated in the right ways. And education doesn't just happen in the schools. It happens in our lives all around us. I'm also the founder of The Refining Life, a 501c3 nonprofit organization whose mission is to provide you with experiences to have your mindset shifted so that you can lead a more positive and productive life. And we're so excited to be launching a new branch of The Refining Life called Refined Expression. We're bringing our youth in, we're bringing our artists in, and that's a different way to refine your mind and express yourself in very special ways. So if you're interested in The Refining Life and Refined Expression, make sure you email light@therefininglife.com and you can get more information and connect with us. I am also a wife and mother of four children. I birthed 2 of them and I own 2 of them. I fed those jokers long enough. They are mine. And that inspired me to become an author of Stepmom, Trials, Tribulations, and Triumphs. It tells the journey of the blending of a family, how my husband and I went along with that, how my husband and my sons at the time, and then we added our daughters, how we went along that journey in the parental leadership and the marital leadership and the familial leadership that had to go forth within that. I am also the author of While You're Sleeping, The Perfect Children of All Ages book, which was inspired by those same children, because it's something special about looking at your children while they are sleeping and have wonderful thoughts, prayers, dreams, and hopes for them. But all of that is a part of my leadership journey. All of it. I'm also a beauty queen. Like you see those crowns back there? I'm a queen, honey, and I am a queen. I am a beauty queen, and all of that takes leadership. And it's that leadership that has inspired Leadership Live to be on your screen today. And for me to feel the need to have the stories of others around me and others I come in contact with to be shared with you. Because when we hear the stories and the testimonies of others, sometimes it can help us learn lessons that we don't have to learn the hard ways ourselves, but also learn new ways and get new ideas of things that we might be able to do, or people who we may be able to collaborate with to make a greater impact on the world. So at this time, I am going to bring my friend into the screen because she is special and she is amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, LaVon Featherstone. Wow! And the crowd goes, wow, wow!
Yes, I love you. I just have to love you. Thank you for all of that.
Yes, LaVon. So LaVon is one of my good friends. We don't get to see each other often in person, but we have made way to see each other often virtually. So I am excited to have her not only still in my life, because I've met LaVon a while ago and she hasn't been able to get rid of me, but I'm also happy to bring her back to you because she has had a stint on Leadership Live before. She was also a part of my series, Ladies Who Lead. And if you've missed any of those, feel free, go over to YouTube. They're all right there at Dr. Renita. So at DrRenita. Over on YouTube, you can catch all of that. But she's back today. So make sure you are staying focused. You're staying right here with us. Be present in the moment. LaVon, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here. I'm
glad to be here. Glad to be here.
I know all this energy for this time of the evening, but it's okay. I'm here.
It's okay. Yes, it is.
But I'm going to take myself out of the screen for a moment and let you tell the people about you.
Good evening, everyone. First of all, thank you, Dr. Renita, for having me back on. But I'm LaVon Featherstone, as she stated. I am a 10 times author. I am a business owner, and I just continue to allow the blessing that God put in my life to be able to assist people to express themselves through creative works, from podcasts to writing books to YouTube series. And I just, trying to walk in obedience in what God wants me to do. So my motto is I have to leave this world empty so someone else can be full. And any opportunity I have to pour into someone, I take it.
You make it sound so simple. But let's take a brief moment because I think somebody missed it. She started off with saying she's a 10-time author. Like 10. It took all my fingers in English and in Spanish. Whether it is 10 or 10, like that's a lot. I'm stoked over my little 3 books, but not you. 10-time author. And okay. And so our topic today, so LaVon and I toiled over what this topic was going to be, but our topic is obedience in leadership.
Yes.
Because in order to be a leader, you have to be obedient. But I think that in order to be a 10-time, let me say it again, 10-time author, that takes a whole different level of obedience.
Yes.
So one, could you just give us kind of like a real overview of what these 10 books are, and then how in the world have you kept writing?
Well, I started in 2005. Well, actually, before then, writing different poems and everything, and I would give them to my father and tell him to read them. And he said I have to do something with it, and I said I'm giving it to you, right? So even though I guess it was kind of disobedience then, because my father told me to do something more, because he knew, God may have spoken to him to tell me to do something more. But in 2005, I wrote a book in dedication to my father, who passed in 2002. So that was an evolving thing. So I went from writing poetry to short stories to motivational things over the years. And it's just a matter of being obedient. So I always say to someone, I'm not that creative, right? I'm not that smart. If God gives me the words, I'm going to put it on the paper and I'm going to share it with y'all. So it's not me. So it's all God. So it's all God. He gave me the words. I put it on the paper, and I just, upload it and share it with y'all.
I love it. It's not me.
It's not. I'm not that smart. I'm not that creative. I don't think I'll be able to do it without them.
Yeah,
well, I know I wouldn't. So
right, but I think you don't give yourself enough credit for the things that have been instilled in you, that you're able to be obedient because you're a willing vessel, and you're able to be obedient because you accept these things that have been dropped into you. So I don't think that any of us come here, with it all. We just have something in us, someone in us, that allows us to attach to these new things, this knowledge, this experience, this wisdom, and then make the choice to utilize it, make the choice to share it, make the choice to learn the lesson from it, And so I think that's where that spirit of obedience comes from. So you say it's not you, but you are the vessel, right? You are the vessel. And so making that choice, obedience is a choice. And so you've chosen 10 times to hear the words, write the words, share the words.
Yes.
10 times.
Well, we had this conversation before, 10 times in which I've shared with the world.
Right.
But we know that there are, the eye blink, there are more than 10 books. as you blink your eyes and things like that. But in all honesty, my journey, and even from trying to walk in leadership, it has been a challenge. I've been behind the scenes for a long time, and just this February releasing a new title and actually trying to put myself as an author, as you keep on saying it 10 times, 10 times, 10 time author. But, I really believe that, like you said, it's something that's within us that, gives us the drive and things that continue to instill us to keep on pushing us forward. But it really doesn't really belong to us, right? So I feel that it was unselfish to keep those words to myself, because I don't know what God was saying through me that can be able to help or assist someone else on their journey, not only in life, but also in business. So anything that I'm doing in business, I have no right to keep it to myself. So I share it. And especially with the generation behind us, right? If they're going to take, now this is a selfish way and unselfish at the same time. If they're going to take care of me when I'm old, I need to pour into them now, because if they don't get it right, the world I'm gonna leave. Yes, exactly.
That is self-care. We talk about self-care all the time. Yeah, I am doing self-care by raising my children in a certain way. There's a certain lifestyle I would like to live when I get older. Yes. And I need them to help me live that life. Yes. I need to be in my right mind. And if I'm not, I need to be in the right place. Right? I would like to, if I ever have, grandchildren, especially with my daughter. So I have grandchildren with my sons, but it's different. All right. So, that the whole stepmothering journey and the obedience of remembering that they have more than one mother, and, having to live that duality with them makes the whole grandparent thing. And look, I'm young and vivacious right now. I'm not old people grandperson, right? And I have children the same age as my grandchildren, right? And so it's harder to be that grandparent. But when I'm older and, the girls are older and they have kids, I want to have a certain lifestyle with my other family. And so I have to raise them in a certain way because of things I would like for myself, but to self-care. I have helped teach future doctors and lawyers and politicians, because I've met all kinds of children in my education journey, and I need them to be amazing so that my life can be what I want my life to be, because they're about to take over this world. And in order for my life to be right, that's self-care. It's not selfish. That is self-care.
And I'm going to use that one. Mm-hmm. It's a self-care moment, because I don't have any kids that I've given birth to, but I have quite a bit of kids.
Well, you brought up something, and you were talking about things that you've learned in business. So I think that, while we were talking about the fact that she is a 10-time author, 10, she's also she has 1,062 businesses. 1,062. It's not really 1,062, but that's what it feels like. But she is a multipreneur. She is a multiple entrepreneur. She has multiple businesses. And you've been at the helm of them since their inception, and have over the years attached other people to these businesses, which put you in a real leadership role outside of yourself. So I would love for you to think about those times before anybody else came, and thinking about obedience. One, what even gave you the push to start the businesses, or even the first business that became the others? And then what kept you going just from the beginning?
Well, from the beginning, with the publishing company in 2005, that was a time when literary agents were necessary. And God kept on saying to me, you don't need a middle person. You can do it yourself. You don't need a middleman. You can do it yourself. I gave it to you. So why would you take that book and give it to someone else to do something with it? You do it yourself. So that was the inception of Samaj Publishing, which is my father's middle name, just flick backwards. But as time went on, just sitting there trying to figure it out, I still was working my 9 to 5 in undergrad, had a part-time job. So it was a matter of hustling to be able to get that that business to the position that it needs to be. My stint by myself was short because I had the younger generation behind me that were eager to be employed. I had 3 little cousins that I am forever indebted to because they weren't of age to even figure out exactly what their path was going to be, but they had the opportunity to see that entrepreneurship can be part of their journey. From filing to giving them creative director on projects, at an early age. This is high school, freshman, sophomore, even 7th, 8th grade, to be able to give them an opportunity. And what kept me going is my relationship. So when I started the publishing company, God allowed me to start the publishing company, I knew that I wanted to start a family environment. I didn't just want to be one of those businesses that just took the book and just pumped things out but never had anything connected to the people. So wanted to make sure that they were well holistically before they put the book out. So that in turn rolled into making sure that their brand was cohesive, and that turned into the other companies like LF Management Group, Featherstone Media, Women the Heartbeat of the Community, Kasai Books, and things like that. And as she smiles, so it just rolled into all those different things because no one is just doing one thing in life, right? So I didn't just want to just say, okay, I'm publishing a book about your business. What else are you interested in? Let's nurture that. Let's grow together. So one of the things I always say to people is when you get ready to come to Samaj or any of the companies, I need you to pray first, right? I don't want you to do it because the opportunity presents itself. I want you to do it because God said this is what you're supposed to do at this time, so that you're well in the process. And I'm not just going to say, okay, let's do your book and go about your business. How do you feel? Because just like your child, you're not going to put your child at anyone's school or send them to anyone's house. You want to make sure they're well, and you're not going to just put them outside in a green shirt and polka dots and cheetah print and one snow boot and one flip flop, right? So you want to make sure that's presentable. You want to make sure that it's presentable before you put it out into the world. So that's what I always say to them. Like, make sure that this is somewhere that you feel that your talent can be nurtured to be able to go to the next level. Because if not, we're just doing it in vain anyway.
Let me tell you about the mental note that I got, or picture I got about this snow boot and this flip flop. If that is not tickled me today, I do not know what. Woo, gracious! But it's real. It's very real. You don't want people just going out any kind of way, especially people attached to you and people who you claim to care about. You want them to be right.
Yeah.
And I think even that is an act of obedience, because it's, taking a moment outside of yourself and taking care of another. It's nurturing, it's caring, and doing that is not something that I don't know that we always are starting off with innately, because self-preservation is so real. Yes. But knowing that we should take care of others, it's an act of obedience to do so.
Yes.
We're going to get into some of these other 50,011 businesses that you just rolled off. So like it was nothing. But in thinking about that, and thinking about the fact that you started all of these and you're nurturing so many people at a very early age and inspiring them at an early age, my question for you is, when do you first remember learning obedience?
In business or in life?
Let's go in life first.
I would say it was the summer of 2002. It's interesting because, these businesses came from loss. Mm-hmm. So in the summer of 2002, God told me, take a vacation. It's time for me and you to chat. Just me and you. I took a trip to Atlanta to go see my aunt and my uncle. We had a great time. But while I was away, and I tell this story often, while I was away, my father has a heart attack. My father is my ride, die, lift up, like comedian. Like, if I had a whole squad. So my father was one person, but it was a whole squad behind me, right? But as I sat there reading Psalm 46, God is my refuge and my strength, right? If I hadn't done that, I would not have even probably sat down and studied that scripture, not knowing what season of life that I was going into. I would have been home, going through everyday life. So I wouldn't have been able to even have the strength of God within me to be able to move forward. So that was the foundation of everything. Like just knowing that no matter what, good, bad, or indifferent, that he's going to be my refuge and my strength. Wow. He's going to be an ever-present help. So no matter what I go through. So that was one of the ones from, from life. For business, I would have to say it took a long time, right? For me to acknowledge it, I just did it, right? As God said, okay, this is what you're supposed to do. From working with people that I admired or that were mentors to me, from college professors to pastors to even young people who use their creative talents. Like I didn't acknowledge that I was doing anything greater but helping someone, right? Like because God already put it in me, so I was already walking in it. But after a while, seeing it and having conversations with people over the years, it had to be nothing but God's obedience. Because, like I said at the beginning of this, I'm not that smart. I'm not that smart. I'm not that creative to be able to say, okay, this is going to be the strategy. This is how we're going to do it. We're going to reach out to such and such, and we're going to work with them, and we're going to do this in year 1, and this in year 2, and then year 5, we're going to start another business, and then year 6, we're going to do. I'm not that smart.
Well, see, the thing is, I think you are. I think you are smart. Why do I think you're that smart? Because you followed it. I think, ignorance and foolishness a lot of times spells itself out in a way when people refuse. Like, I just refuse to be a part of that. I refuse to believe that. I refuse to do that. I refuse to get up. I refuse to sit down. I refuse to go on that vacation. I refuse to have that baby. I refuse to start that business. I refuse to do that. And when you keep refusing, that is foolishness because you won't follow. Like, you'll hear it. Like you said, it was already in me. And then I had already been doing it. And then I got the word that it needed to become this. So sometimes I think that the blessing is in the initial part of the walk. Like not even the Build Samaj Publishing. No, that wasn't where it started. It started when you chose to go ahead and have the conversations, to lift the other people up, to help the other people with the things, to give the person a smile, to whatever you were doing and just working with the things that were already placed in you. And I think some of that comes from childhood. Like sometimes we're doing it as kids because innately that's who we are. Like those things, we came here with it. Like, and then just God just, nurtured it over time, gave us different experiences, connected us to different people. And because we were nurtured in this thing over time, we just kept doing it. We kept saying yes to believing that that's who we were. And so we kept doing the thing. So then once you're doing the thing, you're in the routine of doing the thing. Then God's going to say, and one more thing. And you're going to do that? Great. You're doing it? You're doing it? Okay, and one more thing. Oh, great. Keep going. I mean, so like in my mind right now, I'm seeing like somebody, like riding a bike. Like you get on there, you have the training wheels, you get the training wheels off, and then like you confident and you're running and you're riding the bike. Oh, you can handle that. Great. So while you're on that bike, I'm going to put something in the basket of the bike. Keep it balanced now. Great. Okay, you're going to take the thing in the basket. Great. While you have that thing in the basket, keep going. Keep on. You got this. If you could put this thing on top of your head. Oh, balance it now. Keep going. Are you a little wobbly? It's all right. Just believe that you can do it. And we keep doing these things and saying yes to these things. And, kind of with this awareness that, we're trying to carry it all. And sometimes God will even do this thing called, I'm going to take that thing off of your head. Keep going, though. You took something away. Why did you do that? I was balancing it. I was doing it. Oh, and while you're there, keep riding the bike. I'm going to take that thing out your basket, too. Hold up. The question is, will you continue to ride the bike now that things have been taken away from you, right? Are you going to still be obedient to keep riding the bike? Keep riding the bike. And are you going to get wobbly because you were so used to balancing the heavy things and they've been taken away from you? And we sometimes get disheartened. And so we stop being obedient. We stop riding the bike because we were so used to having the extra things and now they're gone.
Yes.
So as we're continuing to go through life, continue to ride the bike, things are going to come and go. But the question is, what are you going to do with them? Are you going to continue to be, are you going to keep riding the bike? There may come a point where God puts the training wheels back on you. Are you going to keep riding the bike? Are you going to be mad because you got training wheels?
Mm-hmm.
I don't want no training wheels. I don't want to have to go back to school. I don't want to have to go to a new training. I don't want to have to learn a new group of people. Because for me, those are training wheel moments, right? I don't want to go to the conference and speak in a new state and then meet the people. I don't know them people. I'm not getting paid for this. You never know what's going to come just from you continually to ride the bike. Just going to do the thing, to find that obedience in those moments. So some of our lessons in obedience come from loss.
Yes.
I think that's real. You lost, but then you didn't get lost in the loss.
Yes.
I think from what I'm hearing from you, you found in the loss.
I did. I found a passion that I didn't know that I had. Right? Mm-hmm. Although I was writing different things over the years, I never knew that was going to be my passion in my therapy, right? There's several times I have said that the pen and the paper spoke. Like when there was no audio sound, the words on this paper echoed the sounds of my heart and my mind. So I found the passion that I didn't know that I had. I never knew that what I thought could actually help someone else, right? What I felt can actually help someone else, that it can help someone else behind me. And I never knew that even that experience in 2002 of losing my father would be able to help me to have empathy and, a sense of compassion for my younger cousins who lost their fathers at an early age, to be able to experience that in a different level of seeing it from an outward, so because, I have a large family on both sides. So I'm one of probably the first to lose our father. So to see it from my eyes and then to see it from another person's eyes, it just was a way of just seeing that, whatever God is doing is bigger than me. I just always say it, but it's just like, I just knew that it was, but never was able to actually bring it all together. Like it is actually, our experiences are not only for us, right? And people may internalize and allow a lot of things to fester within themselves because they just feel like they're the only person in the world who experienced this. And at 20 years old, losing my father, like when I say my best friend, I mean like it's 7:00 in the morning on a summer day, on a Saturday. I need you to wake up, get dressed, and come play basketball with me. I have PMS. I need you to get up, go to the store, give me some sanitary napkins and some chocolate chip ice cream. Right? So when I said that earlier, that when I say my father ride with me, whatever, like, listen, Daddy, this is what I need, right?
Right.
So, but even with the sense of being, like you said, and obedience being something that was just always in us, it's just a matter of walking that line of listening to something that is bigger than you, right? Because like you said, so many times we get caught up in our own voice of, why would I do that? How is that benefiting me? Why, like you said, why would I go there? And I don't know why this kept on coming to my head about this conference. If I wasn't obedient and showing up in a conference in Philadelphia some years ago, I would not have met Dr. Renita. Now, I have to see, I'm going to go there. Now, I'm minding my business at this conference, y'all. See, I'm talking to y'all. I'm not going to talk to Dr. Renita right now. I'm minding my business. Here supporting sister friends as they up there presenting and everything like this. And this lady she keeps on looking at me. I'm like, why is she looking at me? I'm not presenting. I'm not even saying anything to anybody. I'm clapping, praising with them. Now, my sister friends go to the side. This lady comes. This lady is Dr. Renita. Comes to start to have a conversation with me. Not into, hi, how you doing? So, hey, what are you doing? What are you? It basically was like, who are you? What you doing here? Why are you here? What you going to do with it? Hey, lady, I'm just going to go get some lunch.
You make it sound like it was so aggressive. That is not the approach. But this is a prime example of obedience and leadership, because I didn't know you from Adam at all. And I mean, to this day, I could not repeat what I said to you. It was literally one of those, I feel compelled to go speak to her. God was dropping words into my spirit in the moment, and I just said them. Did not know if you would like take me off the planet. I was there with my mother. This could have gone real left for both of us. But it was just that spirit of, okay, I feel the unction. I'm going to say it. But I don't know why this is coming to me. I felt a connection, like in that moment, like I need to go meet her. Two, there are things I need to say to her. I don't know why she needs to hear this today, but here we go. And it's one of those moments where you get to lead in a way that you don't expect to. And you're leading somebody you don't even know. Yeah. But you listened to me. Look what happened all these years later.
I did. Yeah, I didn't know what was going to happen when you walked up to me, because I'm selling books, minding my business, and I even tried to tell her mother on her. But if it wasn't for your obedience and coming to speak to me at that table at that time, we wouldn't have, grown into this relationship that we have with us helping people grow together. You coming here to speak to young ladies, pouring into them, empowering them to be the best versions of themselves. So I appreciate you for your obedience, because your obedience spilled over to me, and it spilled over to everyone else that you are empowering even through this series. So I appreciate you for your time, your effort, your obedience through refining life, through the arts, sharing your talents through the arts, even through your books, and even through our calls when I may not appreciate the aggressive pushing. See, I changed my words this time. The aggressive pushing, but I appreciate you and thank you for allowing me to come back on.
Absolutely. So I am looking forward to continuing this conversation on obedience and leadership next week, when we're going to dive a little bit deeper into the other businesses. We'll dive deeper into relationships and how that affects your leadership. But we're saving all that. We're saving all that for next week. This will be a very clear part 2 to this discussion. But I think that this may be a part that we need to marinate on a little bit, because it's something about the beginnings of obedience that's very important. And if we can set a strong foundation in the beginnings of our obedience, then when we start to build on that foundation, get extra things on our bike, on us while we're riding a bike, I think we can handle those things a little bit better. But we'll be back next week. LaVon, thank you for your time this week. And I look forward to everybody joining us. Come right back next Wednesday, and we'll be talking obedience and leadership a little bit deeper, even the foundations of our true obedience a little bit more. So love you all. Have a good night. Bye.